Thank you very much, Dr. Roubini, for being here with us. Some scholars argue that the recent globalization backslash, understood as a rise of protectionism in the developed world, may hurt emerging markets. Can you draw some parallels between this potential reversal of globalization and some historical events? For example, what happens between the world wars?
Certainly, some of the best beneficiaries of globalization in terms of greater trading goods and services, migration, and so on have been emerging markets. And the openness of this emerging market has benefited them. If there were restriction to trade or migration, will hurt not just the US, Europe, but also emerging markets. So that's a risk to be kept in mind. And of course, some of the historical lessons go back to the period between World War I and World War II, after the Great Depression, where initially the smooth Hawley tariff in the United States, followed by then trade wars and restriction of trade, led to a collapse of global trade that fell by more than 75% between 1930 and 1936. We're not yet at that level of severity of a risk of a trade war, but there's certainly the risk that things could go in a direction that will be more negative. That's a risk that we all have to fight against.
Okay, and given these prospects, from the point of view of emerging markets, would you say it is recommendable from a policy perspective to focus more on the internal markets as a response to this new wave of protectionism, or the focus should remain, on export-oriented policies?
Well, I would say both things are important, first of all. Certainly, countries can develop more domestic demand while maintaining openness to world trade. But one of the positive things happening is that historically the trade between emerging market and advanced economy was south to north trade, while now the rise of China and other emerging markets implies that trade can be more south-south. Trade in goods, trade in resources, trade in technology, trade in services. So maybe one of the positives is, even if there is a slowdown of growth in advanced economies, even there is less openness in the United States, there is room for more south-south trade. And specific of Latin America, as you know, there are restrictions to trade even within Latin America. And actually, this is a huge market on its own. If there was more openness to trade in Latin America, that will be beneficial for Latin America. For example, some countries in Latin America are net producers of oil, energy, electricity. Others have to import it. If you restrict the restrictions that are right now to, for example, international trade in energy, that will be beneficial for Latin America. So that stuff can be done even at the regional level within emerging markets.